We're building a house out of straw and clay. Yeah, it's exciting.
One is the sun, it shines down on everyone. One is the sun, one is the sun.
I'm loading the loose straw into the hopper so it can tumble. And this hose feeds the clay slip, which is being mixed in the mixer.
To talk about the anatomy of an EcoNest is like talking about the anatomy of our own body. Our own bodies has a structure which we know as the skeleton. In an EcoNest, the structure is the timber frame. We think of them both as the bones. Our bones are the bones of the home. So this tree grew for 80 years in the forest. It's going to stand for another 3, 4, possibly 500 years. Yeah. And quite frankly, the timber frame is not a complicated structure to build. It can be and sometimes is, but in a simple EcoNest home, the timber framing here is not complicated, and it is something that can be learned by apprentices, and in a few years they can be doing this good work and building themselves. When you build a timber frame, you build the human inside.
Four are the elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Four directions: north, south, east, and west. Free your spirit, mind, and your body.
The tools the useful tools to build the frame, which is going to receive the clay straw rolls then. And then the only power that we'll have is gonna be the human force.
And apparently that was a good sound.
And just like our bones are wrapped with flesh in an EcoNest, the timber frame bones are wrapped with a flesh made out of clay, straw, and water. And that flesh on an EcoNest is typically about 12 inches thick.
This is the highlight of the whole week. What we've been waiting for. We get to play in the mud.
Straw, regular straw. Pass the biscuits, please.
You want to pass this over there, Ben?
Whoops.
Yeah.
Okay, here, Paul.
At what point do we start stomping?
When you've got about 8 to 12 inches of material.
Like this.
So here's the dance. Okay, see the water coming up?
Yeah, we need more
straw. That's basically done. Yeah. So go ahead, add some flakes in there.
straw.
Having been chemically sensitive myself, I soon realized that my nose was my greatest ally, and that if I could become aware of smells, I could help protect myself. And now that I'm well, I still use my nose, and when I walk inside a standard home, I can tell as soon as I walk in the entryway if there's an attached garage, because I can smell the car fumes, or if there's carpeting, or if there's new paint. So it's something anyone can do, is just become aware of their sense of smell and use it. And once one is aware, it's really pretty startling to take account of the environments that people are living in and the toxins that are in their own homes.
In standard construction, currently at this time, there's little awareness or general practice that keeps toxic materials out of the home. So not only does a standard home have a vapor barrier, which really seals up the house, but those homes are filled with toxic chemicals from the construction that are in there that you occupy the house with. So you're breathing all this toxicity. And that's really, really not essential, and of course it's hazardous to your health.
Some builders are aware of these materials, and some builders now even advertise as being health conscious and green, and that's a good choice. The majority of builders still are not committed to building healthy homes.
I'm interested in this because I am concerned about resources and toxicity of resources, and I think this is an incredible way to use age-old timber framing, which is a traditional way of building that lasts forever, and then incorporating it with the light straw clay, which has also been used forever. So it's bringing back traditional forms of building into a contemporary world.
And again, like our body, our flesh has a very thin layer which we call our skin. It's the largest organ of the body, the skin organ. And again, in an EcoNest, the flesh has this skin that protects the flesh, and that skin is typically an earthen plaster. Behind my hand are two applications of plaster. The first plaster was a gypsum plaster, which is a base coat. Over that base coat, what we have now is a finished coat of clay plaster, and the iridescent quality that you can see here on the corner where the sunlight is hitting it is a result of adding mica, a local mineral, to the plaster recipe. This recipe here consists of white clay mixed with a white sand to give us our base finished plaster. To that plaster we add a small amount, about 10% of gypsum, to give it some hardness. Then we add our color pigments. This color here is achieved by blending yellow iron oxide and red iron oxide to give this color. We decided to do a high-end house on this piece of property here that commanded a high-end price. We did that for two reasons. One, to make a financial return on this, but two, also to demonstrate to the high-end market that you can have luxury, and both in quality of materials and quality of space, without a huge footprint. In other words, a high-end house in Santa Fe is typically 4,000 to 8,000 square feet in size. This house you're in right now is 1,900 square feet in size. So we are trying to influence even the high-end market to tread a little more lightly on the planet. We are very interested in not high-end building, and I wouldn't use the word affordable anymore. That's very hard to define, but we're very interested in creating clusters of EcoNests, flocks of EcoNests, using stock plans, building homes simultaneously, 3 or 4 homes simultaneously in pods, modularizing the kitchens, the cabinetry, and doing whatever it takes to create a high-quality living environment at a more reasonable price.
At the moment I am not building a house of my own, but I am in the process of designing, and we'll be building a house of our own.
No, there's one screw left there. Oh, there it is. It had been sunk. Let's take that out. See the real wet stuff? Real wet stuff? How do you fix it?
That's dry.
That could have used a little help from some dry straw, and now it just got that help.
Just like a Boyd does it.
Just like a Boyd. But the beauty is how easy you get a gold medal with a follow-up performance.
One is the sun, the 7 colors of the rainbow. 7 colors of the rainbow.
But the feeling on that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's so, there's so much power in there.
Yeah.
So much prana in there. So much life in there.
Earth.
The earth is the jewel here.
The main element is the earth.
Yeah.
Water is an element, earth is an element, and air, because it dries in the air, and fire from the sun helps it dry. Heat. We have space as the fifth element. Space between helps the whole structure breathe. So we have 5 elements present here. Earth, air, fire, water, and space. It's the essence of creation, right here in this house.
North, south, east, and west. 3, your spirit, mind, and your body.
It's a great learning experience. I've learned a lot over the week. It's a lot of hard work, but it's very fulfilling, and it's been a lot of fun. And I better get back to work. I gotta find my. Thank you.
7 colors of the